Hey folks, I'm in the airport in London. I wanted to come on and shoot a solo episode. This one was going to be about World Mental Health Day, but that was on just let me double check. That was on Friday the 10th of October, and we're now on the 19th. I thought the podcast that was about Suicide Prevention Month, the Green Ribbon with Brian Kingston, got pretty great feedback. I think it's the most popular episode to date, so I probably won't touch upon mental health for the moment. I think that covers a lot of the crisis management area of mental health. So I wanted to cover a different topic this evening, and this one is a bit about, I did for those of you that maybe aren't familiar, a TEDx talk in London in 2019 or 2020, let me just double check, 2021, excuse me. It's been a very, very long week. I don't want to seem very nonchalant about this. I worked very hard I think it was a 16 minute and 29-second monologue, all memorized from a script, which I prepared, and I won't go into too much detail about the preparation, but it's called The Secret Upside of Dyslexia, not a disability but a superpower. And in the description it mentions, and I was in London, in the description it mentions 5 to 10% of the global population have dyslexia, yet it is still seen as a disability. Ryan recounts comic tales from his childhood to shed a light on the fact that dyslexia has many advantages, and some of the greatest creatives have dyslexia. The world shouldn't see it as a negative trait, but rather a driver for creativity, problem solving, and innovation. It was a lovely experience. I think I had about 4 to 8 coffees. I was pretty nervous, and thankfully I managed to do it in the end. But that isn't the main reason that I wanted to chat about dyslexia today on the podcast. It was more about I was in Trinity Business School in 2019 to 2020, and I was studying digital marketing strategy. And one of the lecturers in the course, hopefully he doesn't mind me mentioning his name, it's called Aidan McCullum. I think he used to play for Leinster Rugby, which is a common theme on this podcast. We've had Damien Brown, Leinster Rugby, Professor John Ryan, he's involved with Leinster Rugby, and then I think he's the head doctor, and now chatting a bit about Aidan McCullum. Hopefully they have a good season, so wait and see how things go on that front. But I suppose it's not really a part of the topic of the show, but anyway, we'll touch upon it. This one is about one of the modules that I studied in Trinity Business School for the digital marketing strategy, was called Innovation and Digital Technologies, specifically about AI. And I've taken a bit of a break for my health for the last 4 years, but I think it's time to talk a bit about this interesting topic. I keep hearing that I've started using it more recently. I use a number of things: ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity. What other AI tools? I started using Superhuman, the email software, which I wanted to try 4 years ago or 5 years ago. There's a couple other ones that I've used, one beginning with F in London. I think it's Flixer AI, which is an executive assistant. I've tried that too. There's a number of other ones that I have. Is Grammarly AI? Maybe. I'm sure, but maybe. I've not touched upon it, but as a dyslexic, I like to double check my work or writing, and that's what I use to, especially messages, like, excuse my language if you would like, but WhatsApp or social media, or getting back to comments, or just putting out content on LinkedIn or other platforms, I'd use Grammarly to double check the tone of what I'm writing, because it's tough to know. Sometimes it's really tough to know how it'll be perceived. But one of the essays, hopefully I'm allowed to talk about this. I may speak upon it very, very, not in too much detail. Something that is top of mind for me with dyslexia and AI is, for those of you that may have not known, that there could be a solution, a potential solution. Could be an interesting perspective. It's called Artificial Intelligence Revolutionising the Education System for Dyslexic, and it's an essay I wrote in 2019. Again, try not to be too narcissistic. I'm just wanted to talk about this. I was going through my notes on my emails online and my messages, and this popped up. Anyway, I'll just talk a bit about the start and a bit about the end. I'm not 100% sure if I can maybe I'll talk about the full article. I think it's pretty interesting. It says, according to lead artificial intelligence researcher Elzer Yudkowsky, I think his name is, or pretty sure his name is, the greatest danger of artificial intelligence is that people conclude too early that they understand it. McCullen, 2019. And then I go on to talk a bit about other things, but what the most interesting part about this article that I thought was at the bottom, and I've heard in different conversations about, and there's so much we can go into about AI, not large, but sorry, it's been a long day. Jeez, I need to double check this. Learning models, large language learning models. My brain's not working properly. LLMs, and LLMs, or large language models, are advanced AI systems trained on vast amounts of text to understand and generate human-like language. And then Moore's Law was something that I've learned, and this is like a beginner's guide to AI. Maybe it's a bit more advanced than a beginner's guide. I'm kind of a bit all over the place. Maybe I'm not. Maybe just me holding myself back. So with this episode of the podcast, but I wanted to get something out there, and this was just top of mind for me. Moore's Law is the observation that the number of transistors on a integrated circuit doubles approximately every 2 years, a trend that has driven exponential growth in computing power, performance, and accessibility. While not a scientific law, this is empirical projection has guided the semiconductor industry since it was first described by Gordon Moore, co-founder of Intel in 1965. The law's predictions have enabled faster, cheaper, and smaller electronics, but are becoming increasingly challenging to maintain due to physical limits, which I thought was fascinating. I keep thinking about the iPhone as well. I'm not sure if that is, we've gone from like the desktop to the mobile, and now to, I suppose, large language learning models, AI with the Gemini, with your applications on the iPhone. Anyway, I think I'm geeking out a bit on AI, so I'll slow down. The whole point of this, I suppose, podcast is getting a bit more back into interests things that I used to think about quite a bit, or learn about. But I just want to read the conclusion of the essay. Maybe it's a different perspective on AI, or maybe it's not, maybe you already know it. So to conclude, I believe artificial intelligence is going to significantly impact and revolutionize the education system for dyslexics around the world. It will accomplish this through accurately assessing and addressing students' learning disabilities. Actually, I don't think I can go into too much detail about the essay, so I'll stop there. But maybe a bit more. The future is still unknown, but I am a prisoner of hope and an eternal optimist. However, I also agree with Elon Musk when he says that he's increasingly inclined to think that there should be some regulatory oversight, maybe at the national and international level, just to make sure that we don't do something foolish. I mean, with artificial intelligence, we're summoning a demon. McCullen, 2019. So yeah, I just thought this isn't a cautionary tale, but I heard it twice now that the term AI and 10 years almost like put together, people talking about, and this is from two separate, that in the next 10 years we're going to be using AI more and more. And the essay, which I can't go into detail, wouldn't be fair on the lecture, the course, or Trinity Business School. I think it's private information, so maybe I'll edit that part out, but maybe I didn't go into it too much. So yeah, I think that's it. This is really touch upon AI. I just wanted to put something out there this evening. Hopefully I'm not overstepping with the essay. If I am, I apologize. To Trinity Business School, I will take this podcast down. But I think the so what and the last point that I wanted, which I wanted to touch upon, is that AI is something I've been getting into more and more over the last 4 years. And when I was working in the tech industry, it started to was implemented more. But now I've really got a keen interest. So we'll wait and see how things go. I saw Perplexity sponsoring an F1 car the other day. Ferrari on the helmet. So fascinating stuff. And I think OpenAI are now 10 years old. And Google had a very strong Q3 with Gemini and their investments in artificial intelligence. So yeah, I think it's fascinating. Also, interesting story. I think one of the AI companies I was using, I was in, actually I don't know if I can talk about it, in an interview, and it popped up in my interview. I didn't even know it. I don't think I gave it access to my maybe I did. I think the platform we were using, I won't say the company, but Google Meets at the time. But yeah. So, thought I'd just touch upon AI. Super exciting, especially the education system and AI, and how that could affect maybe the role of the teacher, how it could affect the educational psychologist, how we'll interact in the classroom, how we'll interact in the offices, how at home we can spend more time maybe thinking about things, using large language. I keep getting mixed up with that. I don't know what's going on. Let me just double check. I think I know it. Language models, excuse me. AI systems that predict and generate human language analyzing large language learning models. Large language learning. That's like a tongue twister, especially when it's later on a Sunday evening. Large language learning models, LLM, is a type of artificial intelligence AI that uses deep learning to understand, generate, and process human-like text. These models are trained on, I'm using Gemini by the way at the moment, look this up, AI overview on Google. These modules are trained on massive data sets such as books and websites to identify patterns in language and perform various natural language processing (NLP) tasks like text translation, question answering, and summarization. They are built on a specific type of neural network architecture called a transformer model. Fascinating stuff. I'm getting into it again after taking a bit of a hiatus from the working world and the tech industry previously in Google. So excited about my next chapter. I'd like to continue the podcast. I think this is going to be a 15-minute one. That I used to consume episodes, different shows, quite a bit. Or excuse me, podcast episodes. And maybe when I was commuting in the morning time at home, in the evening out for walks, or when I was in the gym. Sometimes I like to listen to podcasts. So it's great to have the opportunity, the ability to produce a podcast now and to speak about topics that I'm interested in. I was going to pivot to entrepreneurship. I haven't yet. And also there's still an opportunity for sponsorship if you'd be open, but if someone would be open to, or a company, business brand, would like to come on board for 1 to 3 episodes, or maybe even longer term. It's my first time doing a sponsorship for a podcast, so a little bit uncertain on how it works, but I'm sure we can figure it out with a large language model, LLM. Maybe on ChatGPT, Gemini, or Perplexity, we can all figure it out together. Hopefully, touch wood, all goes well. And that's it for me, folks. Hopefully I haven't overstepped by saying anything there I shouldn't have said. It's been a long day. Nevertheless, I enjoy talking about digital marketing, tech, innovation. So I know that it says self-help, but we'll wait and see. I like talking about this stuff, so yeah. Hopefully you bear with me for the moment. Thanks, folks, and have a lovely Sunday evening and start to your week.